And our guest today on Absolutely Famous is an up-and-coming young rugby league star, hopefully on a path to playing NRL. 17-year-old Bronson Reuben was born and raised in Christchurch from Ngaitahu descent and now resides in Sydney. Bronson, welcome to the show, mate, and a pretty good career you've got going at the moment.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's great. Been enjoying it so far. Taking it one step at a time and enjoying what I've managed to get done so far. And yeah, it's been great.
And of course, you played out of the Kaipoi club initially in Christchurch, which is Frank Endicott's. I think the last club Frank coached was Kaipoi. So just tell us a little bit about your playing there and how you came to be in Sydney.
Okay, so I played for the Kaipoi Bulldogs for say about 9 years, from when I was 6 to about under 16s, and then I was scouted and I made the move over to Sydney. Played all my junior footy in Christchurch, Canterbury, and South Island Scorpions there, and moved over to Sydney to pursue my dream of playing league.
And you're currently with the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Were they always your favourite club? Or it just worked out that way?
I wouldn't call myself the most loyal fan of any club. I'm renowned for jumping ship. You can say I'm a bandwagon. Warriors. I'm enjoying watching the Warriors at the moment. So,
pretty good. Yeah.
I'm a bandwagon. But I love the Bulldogs. It's a great club. I wouldn't really want to be anywhere else. I don't really know any people, so I've managed to, it's a great environment there, and I've got to meet new people, some great boys, so it's great. Yeah.
And so how have you fitted in Sydney? I mean, Christchurch is a city, I know, but Sydney's slightly bigger than Christchurch.
It was a big change, very big change. Very fast paced over here. The roads are crazy. Learning to drive at my age over here hasn't been, the best thing, but it'll obviously help me in the future. But yeah, it's busy and way different to Christchurch.
So you're 17 years old, is that right?
Yeah, 17 years.
So which team do you play for the Bulldogs in, and what's your pathway to the top?
Okay, so this year I played for the Harold Matthews Cup, which is under 17s, and next year I'll be trialling for SG Ball, which is under 19s.
Yeah, and so do all the NRL clubs play in the same competition, same age groups?
So Warriors have a team in there. So yeah, every club does have a team. And yeah, as you go up, other clubs start fanning out, or if they don't have teams, or under 21s they have other teams, etc. And so there's a few more years until you're at that higher level. But I'm still regarded as a junior.
Yeah. So do you get access to all the top facilities and coaches and conditioners and all that?
Yeah, funny you say that. I was actually at the Bulldogs club, Balmore Sports Ground last night, using their facilities at the gym. So we use the gym twice a week for the program that I'm in currently. And yeah, it's a great facility, yeah.
Being a half, I suppose you must be enjoying the way Shaun Johnson's playing for the Warriors.
Oh, he's playing great footy. You could say it's his best of his career. It's great to watch. Something that I could definitely put into my game for sure.
Yeah. So you're training, what's your training regime typically in a week?
In a week, at the moment I'm playing club footy, and I'm also doing development stuff for the Bulldogs. So it's around 3 to 4 trainings a week with a game on a Friday night, and during the Harold Match season, it's 3 trainings a week with a game on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, 3 or 4 days a week.
So where do you progress? What's your next progression up the ladder, and how many more progressions until you reach the top?
So I've got SG Ball next year. So I guess SG Ball, Jersey Flag, and then you've got your Sydney Shield and Ron Massey Cups after that. So it's a few more levels. I'm not too worried or too focused on getting there as soon as possible. I want to take the journey as slow as I can and do it as best as possible. So it's a while away, of course, but yeah,
it's a while away, John. But it's not as far away as many levels away as Bronson actually thinks.
No,
that's sort of what Bronson's will come to terms with, that it's actually not that far away in terms of levels. So,
and age.
And basically, the Bulldogs are trying to fast track their young players.
Yep.
So if they're playing very well at 17, they want to see them play against 19-year-olds. If they're playing very well at 19, they want to push them up and see how they play against men or 21-year-olds. So Bronson in 18 months' time will be sort of looking at playing men, and it will come around very quickly. So it's not as far away as Bronson.
No, not at all. I mean, there's teenagers playing in NRL, so yeah, the top grade. If you're good, old enough, you're good enough, you're old enough. I think the saying goes. Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. And they look after you, their duty of care, I suppose. They look after you, and don't. Once you're injured, they look after you properly. And
Yes.
yeah. Oh, that's good. Kyle, you had a pretty amazing career too. What, 30 years playing league?
Yeah, I probably played for too long, John.
Your body feeling it a bit?
It is a wee bit, but it's more of a habit and a lifestyle, isn't it? Being involved in sport. If you're not playing, you're coaching or administrating, or sometimes you need to be pulled out of there. Otherwise, you just do it forever and a day.
Yeah. Was that your job, Kirsten? Stopping playing?
No, I didn't have any say, I don't think, because we were a bit of a team, really. Like, Kyle was coaching, I was managing, Bronson was playing, so we were all really super involved, and we were all, we spent all our time together.
Yeah.
And we still do. We spend all our time together because it's focusing on Bronson's sport, more so Bronson now since we've moved here. But, when we were in New Zealand, when I first met Kyle, of course, he was still playing, and I was, at all his games, and so it's just been a real family affair.
Fantastic.
But I certainly didn't have any hand in him stopping.
No, your body normally tells you that. So, Kyle, did you basically move over to Sydney to be with support for Bronson? Was that the motivation?
Yeah, definitely. We've had other friends who have had their children or sons, I should say, playing footy in Australia and come over and stayed in houses and come over by themselves. And they regretted not coming over with him. And I don't think Kirsten was ever going to let Bronson come over here by himself. So we basically just sold up and decided to move. And it was quite tough because it was around COVID. So before COVID hit, Bronson sort of had the opportunity to perhaps go to Brisbane and the Roosters to do some testing. And then when COVID came about, things were sort of a bit up in the air with a lot of young football players. So the Bulldogs actually had something a bit more concrete for him to come in and play in, as opposed to just coming for testing and camps. So we decided not to wait around and just, the Bulldogs were there and willing to bring him into the system. So we just jumped at it instead of waiting too much longer in New Zealand.
Of course, the incentive is Bronson, isn't it, to play in the best competition in the world, rugby league.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, just immersed in it, and well, you'll know how big it is in Sydney and probably Queensland are the two hotbeds of the sport.
Yeah, exactly. Way bigger than Christchurch. That's for sure.
We reckon we're better in Queensland than they are in New South Wales, but that's another story.
That's a big call.
I was a Queenslander when I lived in Australia. I always supported from the time, when Artie Beetson started. I was always a great Queensland supporter.
Well, I'm a Queenslander and these two are New South Wales, mate.
Oh, Jesus, that's tough. Separate couches. So, Kirsten and Kyle, how have you guys adapted to Sydney? Enjoying the lifestyle?
A bit tougher for me. I lived here 20 years ago and it was a lot different. And so it was certainly a shock for me coming back. It's just, it's so hard and fast. And, in New Zealand, you walk down, particularly in Christchurch, you walk down the street and, people won't walk past you without saying g'day. People are friendly and, and it's just not that way here. It's head down, everyone's on a mission here and it's sort of a bit dog eat dog. But I struggled with that. But one good thing for me is I make friends quite easily. So with my job, I've met some really great people and I think that's been a bit of a saving grace for me. Like I socialise with these people and it's just fantastic. I love that aspect of it. It doesn't matter where you go. If you're a friendly person. You're going to meet new people and make friends, and I really love that. And Sydney's a great place to go out and socialise. There's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to do actually on the weekends and things. So in that respect, it's Christchurch doesn't really compare, and I don't want to run Christchurch down. Of course, it's our hometown.
It's just
we
different.
Love it, but it's very, very different, and there's just a lot more to do here and see and be involved. And I think the opportunities here are just a lot bigger. Bronson's done very, very well in his schooling here, and he's got hopes to go to university. And we're just not sure whether he would have done that in Christchurch. He may have, but I put Kyle sort of does the sport and I do the education, and I'm just, we're really proud of where he's at the moment with his HSC. He's just had trials and things, and he's just got some really great goals, which that's massive to have goals, be young and have goals. So I was kind of late in life when you write your goals down and you got to go for them, otherwise if they're not written down, they're just a bit of a dream. So
exactly,
he's got really great goals, and I think he's going to do well whatever he does.
Yeah. So tell us about your academic goals, Bronson. You going to university?
So yes, at the moment I'm studying hard. I've just finished what you'd call trials over here. So it's about 2 weeks of hard out exams. That it was a hard experience. My first experience really with internal exams. And my goal at the moment is just to get best grades as possible as I can. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to, drain myself out and worry about too much. But my plan is to go to university. I think I'll be the first person in the family to go to university, which I'll hold on to that. And I'm planning to do law. So
well done. Awesome. Yeah. Always good to have more than one egg in the basket career-wise.
Exactly.
Yeah. You never know what can finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle? You're getting used to Sydney. There'll be plenty of great rugby league to watch.
Well, yeah, it's sort of paradise if you like rugby league, Sydney and Queensland really. So I've been doing a bit of stuff here with development squads at the Bulldogs, and so I've been pretty busy. So it's it's good here for me. Obviously don't have family here, but it's sort of just if you want to go to the footy, there's a game on every weekend that you can go to, whether it be the Bulldogs or Parramatta Stadium or just wherever. The footy's great here.
Yeah.
So we'll immerse ourselves in that for the next 2 or 3 years, and we'll see what comes of that.
Oh, yeah, it's the land of opportunity, right? It took us Cheryl and I, about 2 years to sort of get really used to in the group. We always loved it the day we came here, but to get really settled, about 2 years, and we just felt like it was our new home then.
Yeah.
You find you get yourself sorted job-wise and whatever you're doing, and
yeah, that's right.
That's right, and I think once Bronson figures out which uni he goes to, and with footy, I'm not saying Bronson wants to go anywhere, but just because you can be moving around from club to club here and there, you never really know where you are going to settle.
No.
For a period of time. So whether we are in Sydney for a number of years or whether we end up in Queensland or where, you just don't know what's around the corner. So it's quite hard to just permanently say we're going to live here or this is what we're going to do. So at the moment it's a bit like a working holiday still.
Awesome. Oh, you're doing really well. You should be proud of yourself, Bronson, already. I'll be following your progress with great relish, and if you come on TV, I'll just tell all my mates that you're my mate, so that'll be good. Always looking for mates. Yeah, cool. Guys, thank you very much for being guests on the show, and I'm really glad you're enjoying the Australian experience. And
thank you.
Once again, Bronson, congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It's been great to talk.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.